Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be completing the Thinking About Myself worksheet. Um, and so some things are going to need open for this lesson will be the Google Doc that's posted in Schoology, MCIS, and of course your Google site. So if you could get those three tabs open at this time, that would be great. So let's get started with the first section, related information. All right, the Thinking About Myself worksheet. Um, will help you name the things you are good at, the things you enjoy, and the things that make you special. These characteristics that you have are called strengths, talents, and interests. You can use these characteristics in school and in the world of work. And in fact, it's really important that we make sure we're using our strengths and our talents at work. You want to make sure you feel appreciated, and you want to make sure that you are using all of your abilities in whatever job you are going to have in the future. And so it's good to lay out what you think your talents and strengths are now before we start to do some research on occupations. So the instructions for this worksheet are right here. Number one, it states complete this worksheet as fully as you can. Be honest in your answers. Your answers will help you learn about yourself so that you can make good choices and decisions for your future. So, this first section is called related information. So, there are two um, boxes that you need to answer here. The first one says, in addition to my family, adults who are important to me include, and here in this box, you're going to put any adult in your life that has importance to you. Okay. Just try and exclude family from that because we know family members are going to be there for you and help you. What other adults do you have in your life that can be there for you and help you through things and be a supporter for you? It could be a teacher, maybe a counselor, or maybe it's not even someone at school at all and it's a friend's parent. Okay, a friend's mom or dad. Think about the adults in your life that are important to you, and you're going to list them right here in this box. Okay. The second one here is my responsibilities at home include. What are the things that you have to do at home that you're responsible for? It could be a chore, it could just be an expectation that you have. So, some examples I put down, I have to keep my room clean, take out the trash, watch my little siblings when my parents are working, and wash any dishes that I use. Okay, yours might be different. Maybe you live on a farm and you have to feed animals every morning or clean out barn stalls. Maybe you have a dog and so you have to walk your dog. Maybe you have to take care of yard work and mow the lawn. What are the responsibilities that you have at home? So go ahead, pause this video, and answer these two boxes here. The next section is schoolwork. In the schoolwork section, you're going to answer a couple of statements here. So, the subjects I enjoy most are. And so, I structured my answer like this. The subjects I enjoy the most are business classes, English classes, PE, and art. I want you to pick 3 to 4 classes that you enjoy the most. Okay, think about classes you took last year, maybe your exploratory classes or some of your general classes, and the classes you're taking this year, and which ones do you enjoy the most? Which ones bring you the most joy? You love going into the classroom, you love what you're learning, and you love the type of topics that are covered. Okay, the second statement, the subjects I do best at are. So here I put the classes. Oops, I made a typo. The classes that I get the best grades in are. So these are the classes that think of your report card, look at Skyward. Which classes do you get the best grades? And put 3, 4, 5 classes here that you get the best grades in. If all of your grades are really the same, think about when you're taking a test, which ones come the easiest, which classes you don't really have to work that hard at because it comes naturally to you. Okay, so you're going to put those classes here. And then the third statement here is I learn best by, and I want you to put an X by one of the options below. How do you learn? Do you learn by looking at pictures? Do you learn by reading about things? Do you learn by handling things? Do you learn by talking about things? You really need to talk things out in order to grasp a concept. Or do you learn by making things? And I really do learn best by making things. Hands-on learning is really my best way of learning. And so I put an X here, but I want you to choose the statement that makes the most sense to you. Okay, the third section is hobbies and leisure interests. Okay, in this section, there are two statements. Number one is when I'm not at school, I like to. So tell me what you like to do when you're not at school. What are you usually doing? Are you playing video games? Are you reading? Are you on your bike trying to learn new stunts? Maybe you're farming and you're working. What do you do when you're not at school? I put that I love to craft, sew, and quilt. If I have more time, I would be doing that, right? So when I'm not at school, that is what I love to do. Second part here says, I like to do this because. Tell me why you do that. Why do you spend your time doing those things? It's not because you have to do it, right? You're doing it because why? Okay. And I put that I like to do these things because I feel accomplished when I finally finish a quilt or a craft that I've had pinned in Pinterest for a long time. It's been sitting there. It's a goal I wanted to complete. And I love when I finally finish a craft. I feel accomplished and I feel really proud. So, why do you do your hobbies? Why do you do those things? How do they make you feel when you do them? Next up is any work experience that you've had. Okay, this section lays out your work experience, whether it's paid work or unpaid work. So if you're sitting here thinking, I've never had to have a job before, I've never gotten a paycheck, well, let's get creative here and think about other ways that you have quote unquote worked. Okay, so when I was filling this out, I thought as an eighth grader, what did I do in eighth grade? Okay, well, I started babysitting when I was in fourth grade. I took the babysitting class and I started babysitting kids in my neighborhood and I babysat my friends or my parents' friends' kids. Okay. Um, and so when I was in eighth grade, I have been babysitting for 4 years. I'd get paid to babysit. That was a job for me. When I was in eighth grade, I also volunteered a lot of my time for my church's youth group, and we would work and do various jobs around town to raise money for our missions trips. And then I also helped my grandparents a lot with yard work at their property. They had a pretty big property out in the country, and they would need a lot of help doing things like picking up sticks so that my grandpa could mow and working in my grandma's garden. And as they got older, they needed more help doing some of that stuff. And so when I was in eighth grade, I went out to my grandparents' property and helped with yard work a lot. And sometimes I would get paid a little bit of money, but most of the time I just went out there and helped them because I loved them. So those are three things I could think of that I did in eighth grade for work. Um, the next section states, I like to work when. What what motivates you to work? What motivates you to do the things where you're getting paid, or maybe just to volunteer your time? It's probably harder to feel motivated to volunteer your time without getting paid. So I put that I like to work when I get paid, right? I like to get paid when I babysat. I also like to work when I felt appreciated. That is what helped me go out to my grandparents' farm. I knew that they loved it and they appreciated it. And I knew that they needed it because it was hard for them to bend over and pick up all those sticks off of the grass. And so I liked feeling appreciated. And that was enough motivation for me to go out and help my grandparents, right? And I also like to work when I'm good at the job. Okay, if I'm good at what I'm doing, I feel motivated to keep going and I feel motivated to show back up the next day. So when I felt good, when I felt that I was good at the job, I found that I liked the work more. Okay, and then the last section here says, I don't like to work when. I don't like to work when it's really hard for me to do. Okay, I'm not necessarily the strongest person. So if I'm doing like really heavy manual labor, I don't think that's fun. And I remember that as when I was your age as well. Like I did not like to do things that were really hard for me to do. I felt I would get frustrated really easily, and that would uh, do the opposite of motivate me, right? That would like shut me down and I'd want to stop. I don't like to work when I'm tired and it's really early in the morning. So my grandpa was always early bird. And so we'd always want to get going right away. And I remember many times being super tired and just feeling really cranky that I was out there because it was so early in the morning. And I don't like to work when I got yelled at. So if I was doing something wrong and I got yelled at, um, I don't, it would, I would start again to shut down and not want to do that job anymore. And maybe then start finding reasons to not go to and do that type of work anymore when I feel like I'm getting yelled at or I'm disappointing someone in some way. So for these three sections, I want you to write down at least three things. Think of three things you've done for work, whether it's paid or unpaid, three times that you feel like you like to work. What are the conditions like when you are loving the work? And what are the conditions like when you're hating the work? I don't like to work one. Give me three for each of these boxes. Next up, we have special qualities. All right, we're getting really close to being done with this document here, but this section is my special qualities, and there are one, two, four boxes for you to fill out. So the first one says, five things I really like about myself are. I want you to put five qualities that you believe that you have that you really like about yourself. Okay. And if you need to take some time to really think about this, I want you to take time to think about it because I think it's important to truly evaluate what your qualities are and the qualities that you love about yourself. Okay. I put that I'm loyal, honest. I have a strong work ethic, and I really love that about myself. I'm confident, but I'm also curious. And those are five things that I really uh, do like about myself. Maybe you are caring. Maybe you're a caring person. Maybe you're a sensitive person and you like that about yourself because you're really keen to your feelings and to other people's feelings. Maybe you're strong. Maybe you can lift really heavy things and you like that about yourself. It makes you feel proud. Maybe you're athletic or you're artistic. Okay, so what are the qualities that you have about yourself that you really like? The second part here is what do other people like about you? So, other people like my ability to. Um, I put that people can depend on me to do something when I say I'm going to do it. I'm very dependable. I'm a dependable person to others. Maybe not so much to myself, but I am very dependable for other people. So, for example, if someone comes to me and asks me to do something and I tell them I'm going to do it, I get it done. Okay, but if I tell myself, okay, make sure when you get home you do the dishes right away. I don't always do the dishes. I don't always do things that I need to do for myself right away, but I always help out other people. Okay, my greatest achievement so far is now, this was really hard for me to think about when I was in eighth grade what my greatest achievement is because a lot of things have happened in my life since eighth grade. So, my greatest achievement so far in my life as an adult is being able to provide for my kids, and I'll put family in there too, my children and family. um, we have My kids have a safe house, they're warm, they're fed, I'm able to provide for them, and that includes having this job and working hard and getting a paycheck so that I can provide for my kids and family. That's my greatest achievement so far. But again, it was really hard for me to think like, oh gosh, what did I accomplish in eighth grade? You're going to put what your greatest achievement is so far. Maybe it's an award you won, um, something that you did in a class. Maybe you got a really good grade in math for the first time and ever. So you're starting to understand a subject that was really hard for you. Now it's not. What is your greatest achievement so far? And then the last one here is one thing I'd like to improve about myself is, and I put that one thing I'd like to improve is my time management skills. Sometimes I can get distracted by my phone or by TV or, TikTok, my iPad. I can get distracted. And then all of a sudden I find myself procrastinating on really important things I need to do for work. So I am always trying to improve on my time management skills. But what's one thing that you would like to improve about yourself? Go ahead and pause the video and answer those four questions. It is now time to summarize our worksheet. All right, at the bottom of your worksheet is the summary section, and it has a little blurb that I'm going to read to you here. So, what I want you to do is review what you wrote above and honestly do that. take like a good solid 2 minutes to sit and think about the things that you wrote, why you wrote them, what special meaning do those words have for you, right? Sum up what you most like to do and what you do best. You can then use this information from the shaded box to fill in the Getting Started Know Myself section of the career plan. Okay, that section is called the What Do You Know About Yourself item, and I'm going to walk you through that once we get to MCIS. So don't worry too much about that yet. You may also want to learn more about the occupations you've listed. So you're going to click on the occupations tab in MCIS, find your occupations on the list, and then take a quick read through them. And again, I'll walk you through that. So before we go to MCIS, you're just going to fill out these 3 boxes here. So take some time, pause this video if you have to sit and reflect. And I want you to write down, I most like to what? What do those things up above in this worksheet here tell you about what you like to do? Okay. I put that I like to create things, and I do. I love to create new things with my hands. I like to handle things when I learn. I definitely like to work with my hands. I like to work with people. Okay, I loved working with my grandparents when I was your age. I loved babysitting. In ninth grade, I eventually became a lifeguard. So that's like 1 year later than where you're at right now. I like to work outside, and I also like to play sports. PE was always on the top of my list for classes that I liked. And so those are all things that I really like. And I want you to create a list of 3, 4, 5 things, 3 to 5 things that you most like to do. Okay, here I'm particularly good at. Out of these things here, what does it tell you you're good at? And I'm really good at helping people. And it's apparent with working with my grandparents and babysitting that I really like to help people. I feel most appreciated when I'm helping people. Okay. And now here, this last question might be the hardest one of the whole worksheet. Okay. Because you haven't necessarily learned about a lot of different careers, but this is kind of a situation where we're going to see what you know. And so I want you to think, what are some jobs that use your characteristics and interests? Brainstorm a list of career options that you could have. There are no wrong answers here. Okay. So unless the word is gibberish, right, that would be a wrong answer. But think about jobs that use these things that you like to do, right? What are some jobs that use these things up here, and put those jobs down below? And you're actually going to then look at those jobs in MCIS in just a little bit. So come up with 3 to 5 jobs that you think you'd be good at. There are no wrong answers as long as you're listing an occupation. Okay, so pause the video and fill in these 3 boxes. The last step in this video is to record your information. Okay, so now the next step is to head on over to MCIS and get logged in. And just like you did in the last lesson, you're going to hover over the Plan tab, click on Career Plan, click on the Getting Started tab here, and then Know Myself. Okay, Know Myself. So then you're going to scroll down, and here you're going to put some information in this box here. Just like before, I want you to click Insert Today's Date, a dash, and then you are going to write 3 sentences about your characteristics, interests, and preferences, and the stuff that you filled out on the other sheet. The thing is that I want this box here to be typed up in full sentences. Okay, so an example that MCIS gives you is, I'm an energetic people person, I love animals, and I care about doing well in school. So if you wrote incomplete sentences here, you can just copy and paste it. But if you're like me and did not write incomplete sentences right here, we're going to make it into a complete sentence. So I love helping people. I'm just going to put that. I love to play sports. I love to work with my hands and create things. Okay. Always make sure you hit that save information so that it saves. Your page will reload, and then you can scroll down, and then you know that that is saved in there. And then when you come back in the future, you can insert another date and continue to work on this because it'll be saved for your whole high school career. Once you get that typed up into MCIS, you're going to then go to your Google Sites. So open up your Google Sites, Underneath the Know Myself page, you are going to go to Thinking About Myself, because that is the section we're working on. And we're going to add some of our information into our portfolio, our set of work that we're completing. It's going to look nice and professional. So insert a text box, make it a title, and you are going to type summary. Insert another text box, and what you're going to do is you're going to put the information from these three boxes here. So I just want you to summarize what you did in the worksheet. So the first thing you're going to type is I most like to, and you're actually going to, when you add a new text box, you're going to change the normal text to heading. So I most like to, a colon, and then this time you can just hit enter. So just hit enter right there. Go to your worksheet, and I want you to copy and paste this information. So Control V. And because I like the way bullet points look, I'm going to make mine a bulleted list. Again, I just think it looks sharper. It looks more organized. So go ahead and make this a bulleted list. So once you copy and paste this information in there, use the bulleted list option. Okay, without adding a new text box, I'm just going to do it all in one text box here. I'm going to change normal text to heading again. And the second part is I am particularly good at. I wonder if I can just copy and paste this here, if it'll stay a heading. Hey, look at that, it does. I am particularly good at, but I do want to capitalize because it's a title and we want it to look professional. I'm going to hit enter and it should automatically change to normal text. So that's good. And I'm just going to copy and paste this. So Control C, bring it over here and paste. Hit enter, change it to a heading. And I'm going to take this right here, some jobs that use my interests, my characteristics. Okay, so I'm going to, because this is like a title now, not, I think the word that is capitalized in a title. I believe is capitalized. I'm just going to capitalize all of these. Always capitalize the last word in a title. Okay, so some jobs that use my characteristics and interests are hit enter. And again, copy and paste is our friend. We already did the work. Why should we have to do it again? Right? Let's make it easy on ourselves. I'm going to highlight and turn this into a bulleted list. And there we go. That looks great. So that is what you're going to put in for your summary. Now, the last thing in the last part of this video, you are going to go to your Drive. So go to the Insert panel, then click Google Drive. I want you to find the worksheet that you are working on. Mine's titled Practice, but yours isn't. Yours is, you could look up Thinking About Myself. Okay. And you're going to, I double clicked, insert that in here. And just like before, in the previous lesson, I want you to drag out this resizing box so that your worksheet is at least 1 page long. So once I get my schoolwork, I know that this is the end of my first page, and so that's going to be big enough. So that is set. One thing I just want to double check with is that we're going to go back to the worksheet one last time, go to the share button, and change this to public, so anyone with the link. Okay. And then they can view it. You don't need to give them permission to edit or anything like that, just to view, and then click done. That way I can definitely see the worksheet that you completed. That's it. Once you get that done, you are done with this lesson.